Hi everybody, it's Annette from The Art of Intuition, and today we are going to talk about why people pop up. So the pop-up is a very popular topic when we are both in our human existence and in our soul existence. So I want to put a little more frame around that, because when we're in our human existence and we have people, kind of pop up, we always go down the road of why. We go down the road, what do they want? And we tend to carry a different weight for us when it's a romantic interest that has popped back up than when it's a friend and that kind of stuff in our human existence. So we tend to separate things out. To more pop-ups mean different things. For us, it's more important in a lot of different ways because we have more attached to that person. We have more story around it. We have more stuff going on with us. So when we start to see these occurrences, these pop-ups in our human existence, we go down the road of what's going to happen. We go down the road of what happened last time. And a lot of the time when this would happen to me, though I will be honest, I had very few times romantic interest pop back up for me. That was not a theme I carried. I usually just went on to different people and played out a lot of the same stuff again. And you might see yourself doing that, or you might have some people pop back up. But it is a lot different when our human existence doesn't, and then when we start seeing it in ascension. But we can tend to start, in the beginning when we start to see this, we tend to go down the same road, because in different parts of our awakening and our ascension, people are going to mean certain things to us. People are going to represent certain timelines to us. We're going to have some stuff still tied to them. And we have to be able to get past that to really look at why they're here. There's going to be a zillion reasons why people pop back up when you're in your awakening or in your ascension phase. And it's not going to be the human reason, we think. Or we're going to want to put it on a human reason as to why these people pop back up. So I want to kind of separate that out. So look at how you used to look at it when you were in your human existence and people pop back up, and what happens now. So it's important to remember that everyone is on their own separate ascension awakening schedule, right? And it will correlate to yours. If they're in your existence, in your life, in your field, it's going to correlate to yours in certain ways, right? But it doesn't mean they're on the exact same one you're on. We have this misconception at the beginning that because these people are in our life, everyone's coming with us. It's going to be a group caravan journey with all these people we had human relationships with. It. Everyone's going with us, right? Whether it be your spouse, a husband, jobs, everything kind of lumped into one. We feel like everyone's going with us, coworkers. And that's not how it normally works, okay? I can't say it's never going to happen. You might have a few people that carry over, but that's a different topic for a different video. When we start our journey, all these people that are around for a reason. They're either pushing you toward something, they're pushing you toward a different timeline, they're pushing you toward a different part of your ascension journey. They are getting you to look at stuff, getting you to look inside of you, getting you to stand in your power, getting you to clear a program. That's why a lot of these people, when we start going through our awakening and different parts of our ascension, why they are there. They're there to push us forward. It's kind of the rhythm of nature video I put out, the energy of nature and the frequency of nature. It's kind of like they're pushing us forward. They might not be doing the nicest things to us in a sense, but they're pushing us forward in our journey, pushing us forward to stand in our power, pushing us forward to stand into something, right? That's why they're originally there. That's why they make their debut. They're here to get us to look at something, a program we're running, no matter what it is. And it could be different for a lot of people watching this video. A lot of times it'll be a collective. Everyone can kind of see the same kind of thing. Whether it's a program like, oh, I'm never chosen for anything. I never kind of get what I think I want, or I never get picked, or I never stand in my power. I'm always the one doing everything in a relationship. And we'll start to see similar themes carried through. And that's what all these people were there for in the beginning. They were maybe to get us to start our awakening journey, maybe to get us to push ourselves more into ascension and get us to work through our twin flame stuff. There's a reason they were there. Now, when they pop back up, And I do see this happen more, honestly, in my ascension than, I think I said it earlier, than I ever did in my human existence. I didn't have a lot of pop back ups in my human existence. And since any human realities I had closed out prior to awakening, none of those people have come back in. None of those people have reared their head at all. With the exception of just, blood ties, blood family, because that will go into ancestral karma and clearing that. So that might be some of the carryovers you see. But for any timeline I closed out prior to awakening, I did not see any of those people come back. So that's just my to date. Let me put that to date. I haven't seen that. Maybe I will later, but to date I have not seen that. So the people I am seeing pop back up are people that were around during my awakening and all through my ascension journey. And there are different reasons, right? And I'm going to challenge you with the thing to look and see, can you see more than I'm even mentioning? Because there's going to be a billion reasons why people pop up. We're just going to hit on the highlights. But remember, you are pivotal to their ascension, whether they're in an awakening yet, or they're even starting their ascension, or they're not. Everyone's going to be in a different part of their journey, and you're going to represent something different for everybody. For one person, you're working through your twin karma, and that's what they're doing too. There's other reasons they're there, but that's what they're helping you do, and that's what you're helping them do. For other people, it'll be they're about to go through an awakening, and you're just there to kind of activate consciousness. They might not even be around that long. You might do energy work on them and activate into their awakening. You might have people that are there to assist you with certain and support you in different part of your ascension process, and that was part of their journey, and you were supporting them, and they're actually in their ascension process. I only had a few people who came along that stayed, I had realities with, were actually in ascension. Most of them were awakening, pre-awakening. There was a majority of the people that were around or pushed me toward, my awakening. So, time frames. This is a big one. And this is not the human time frames. And I don't want everyone to get bogged down on the time, because the time technically doesn't matter. But when we're talking about people, if I go with my original synopsis, right, which was most people that I was around when I was going through my awakening or my ascension, they were not in an awakening or an ascension. It was not their time yet. I was there to represent something different for them, awaken that consciousness in them, but it was not their time yet. I can say that. It was not their time yet. Not a judgment on where anybody is. It's just not technically their time yet. It's like you're getting to the movie theater early and the movie hasn't started. It's not they're doing something wrong and, oh my gosh, all of us are going so much faster than other people. It's not their time yet. They're not, it's like sleeper cell's not activated in a sense. It's not their time yet. They're not supposed to be doing that stuff yet. But you're still playing a pivotal role in assisting them to waking up, assisting them to starting their process, looking at something different, seeing someone who reacts in a different way. I used to just go sit and talk to people about their dreams, and we used to have the best time, just strangers I'd never met. We would just talk about dreams all the time, when people were dreaming, and we had the best time doing that, doing Reiki with different people. When I used to do Reiki years ago, we would have the best time, just meeting people, and you're just activating people. So I'm going to mention a time frame here because it is important to understand we have to let timelines reset, right? We talk a lot on this channel about closing out timelines. We talk a lot on this channel about letting timelines reset. And we have to give them time to do that. We have to have the new realities anchor in. We cannot say, oh, it's been 2 weeks. This person just, came back, wants to talk to me, and I'm sure I'm in a different timeline. Technically, you are in a different timeline. Technically you're in a different timeline every 1 second. You're in something, you're in a different dimension, different timeline. It can shift that quick. Are they in a different timeline? Are they on that track where they're going to be in a different timeline? Or they want a test to see if you're going to go back and play in that? And are you going to now go back into this whole loop cycle you were in with this person? And I had a person who would show up again and again and again and again. And it was like every time I'd fall for it, like, oh, maybe let me see. Let me see where the person is. Let me reach out, and not really reach out, but let me respond. and let me just see. And there is a part where we kind of want to check if it's been enough time that has passed. I also get to the point where I don't contact people at all, and you will probably get to different parts of this when you're in your ascension. I don't bring people into a reality they are not showing up in willingly. Like if I have people contact me, that's different. I don't contact people unless it's a separate kind of. We will have separate kind of realities that you might be contacting. If you're co-parenting and you have their children involved, or you have to, you have to contact someone to arrange that because the children are too little to do that on their own. There are some realities you will play in that are like that, and that might be one of the times when you are contacting people for something like that, or if you really feel called to. But that's more to me now for co-creating different work things. I might feel called to that I see people I might want to talk to co-create with. But in general, any of the personal relationships I had, either awakening, post-ascension, like I said, pre-awakening, the human ones I had closed out, I never ever feel any. Oh, it's never ever, but I have never contacted any of those people. And just because that was kind of a separate life to me, it almost feels like a past life to you when you look back at your human existence. It just feels so long ago. And now I guess I can say if I really look at it, I guess there has been one or two. So you might have a few people that kind of pop in, but I don't really have realities with them. I'm not really creating anything with them. They just kind of might pop up here and there. But I can think of one person that does that, but it's not the norm, and it's not like a reality I'm creating. So I'm not saying it's a steadfast rule. This is just how mine has gone. So when people come back after a short period of time, we are kind of conditioned to rush back into the reality because, oh no, it's reset, because we have a need to go back into it. We're not done with it yet. We don't want to take a minute to think about it. We don't want to take a beat to figure out what's going on. We just want to go back. Let me just go back right into this reality, because I really want to be with this person, because we don't give it time to reset. So sometimes this is going to happen. It's kind of a test. And I used, I think, a 2-week marker for that example, but I've had people do that a year later. Now, that's not the only reason they're there. And if I paint it as the only reason they're there, it's a zillion different reasons. It can be a test to see, okay, are you going to go down the same road again? Are you going to act the same way again? And I've had a couple of those happen where I'm like, oh, I just fell right into it all over again. And it's going to show you how much. It's also coming back in for you to clear more of the program out this person represented for you, what this person got to for you. And every time they come back in, you're clearing out more and more and more and more. But what might have wrapped you up for 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months before with this person, you might work through in 2 or 3 days after continually going through it with them, because you're getting sucked in. Like there's one person in particular, you kind of get sucked in, and for me, and then I would realize, oh God, I did this all over again. That Britney Spears song. Oops, I just did that shit all over again. I can't believe I fell for this. But I did it quicker. I was like, okay, I'm going to be in my head about this for like 3 days. And now it's like 3 hours. And then it might get to where it's like 30 minutes. And you're like, okay, well, that is what that is. There's also a part where you do want to check where they are, especially if there's been some time. And I do really want to reiterate that. And we're just talking time because in their consciousness, in our consciousness, higher consciousness, a year is nothing. 5 years is nothing. In human consciousness, it might kind of feel like a long time. And if someone might pop up after a year and you might say, okay, maybe it's been enough time for it to reset for them. Let me see. What's my role here? These are questions we need to be asking ourselves, because what is the purpose of me coming back into this person's life? What is the purpose of them coming back into mine? Can we actually hold a reality now? Or is it just we're going to play out the same shit all over again? Do we need to do that? Now, technically, they're going to be on their own timetable too. And if they're going through different parts of their consciousness, if they're in an awakening and their world's crashing down around them, you might be the person that they want to reach out to. And I always say, when shit starts going wonky, everybody wants to talk to the girl that was talking about the weird stuff. I had so many people like that. You're so weird. But the minute their shit goes wonky, everyone wants to talk to the person that was talking about the weird stuff. Or the not the normal human stuff. That's where I want to go. I want to go to that person because they're going to understand what's going on with me. So it could be shades of that too. You really need to look at how is it presenting. Let me look. Where is this person at? Are they still going through their human stuff? Are they are they starting their awakening? Are they starting their ascension? Is there a purpose for me being there? Can I be there and not play out the same role? We're going to have a tendency in the beginning when this happens to kind of dive back in because we're still working through our programming. I'm going to want to go in and play the same roles and then have this, and in our human twistedness, believe we really reset something when we're really not really, we haven't really reset it. We're just going deeper in a program. So technically there's still a purpose. It's just not the purpose we want it to be. It's not going to be the moonlight and roses we thought when this person popped back in. They're all on they're all on a different timetable. They're coming back in for a reason. Especially when, like I said, I don't contact people. People contact me. And when someone contacts me, and I've had a lot of that, I know I'm going to be doing this a lot when we talk about different things coming in. I'm going to probably have a lot of this going on in the next in the next linear year for me, reconnecting with people after so many years to check in to see where they are, to see what is my role here, how can I assist them in their journey, what are they here for? Is it just for me to assist them for, a 2-hour talk or a 20-minute talk, or is it for me to assist them in more of their journey? Can we have a reality together? Has it been enough time? If it's been 4 or 5 years, now we start to get to where if they were in their human consciousness before, where are they now? What aspect am I seeing now? Can I hold a higher aspect and deal with these people? What is my role here? What am I supposed to be doing here? Again, it's not about the human stuff of what you want out of it and what we wanted out of it. That's why we were in these things before. Now we're looking at what is there good for the whole here? Is there a reason they're back? Is it just to play out the same old shit again, or can we now move to something else? We don't want to bring in the same old shit again. The minute we go down the road of everything this person did, if we stay on the same time frame 4 or 5 years ago, we're not just going to recreate the same timeline. We're bringing up the same stuff. We're now going back into that timeline again. No, that doesn't mean we're not aware of it. I'm aware of how they act. I'm aware of their go-to. I'm aware of how they act when they're in their human consciousness. I'm aware of when their human aspect is talking to me. I'm aware of that aspect. I'll be aware of what they're doing. And sometimes these people also will come back in when we can actually assist them. And because there are different parts of our process and we don't have the consciousness yet. We don't have the tools yet to help them, really assist them with whatever part of their journey we're supposed to fill that role for, so they don't come back, because we're not, in a way, transmitting that frequency. And until they're in a place where they're picking up on that frequency, you might not pop back into their head. It's not personal. It's not personal if people go away 4 or 5, 10 years, whatever. It's not personal. We want to make it personal. Our human's going to want to make it personal. It's not personal. You might now be transmitting a different frequency and they're picking up on that frequency because that's a frequency that they're trying to embody. It's a frequency they're trying to get into. Maybe their life is starting to fall apart. We have to be a little careful with that when people are just reaching out when their life's falling apart, because that's once again showing you their human aspect, the same pattern all over again. And then we have to really look at what's our role. What can we really do here? Sometimes it's best to let everything fall apart than to try to help somebody dig out of a hole they can't really dig out of, because eventually they're going to dig to the other side. And that's what we had to do. We had to dig to the other side. So we really have to take great care and be very in discernment in what realities do we get involved in. People do pop up for a reason. I never ignore anyone that pops back up, no matter how they come in, whether they talk to a friend and that friend and they say, hey, can you get so-and-so to contact me? I'll do it, as long as it's initiated somewhere energetically. I will then contact them and say, okay, now where are we? Okay, we're in the same place. Maybe we're in the same place all over again. Okay, it might be a few more years, and that might be the end of it for another couple of years. Those people might never come back again. But when you do start to see people pop up, look at what are the different reasons. What's going on inside of you when they pop up? Do you have a story around it? Are you trying to bring in the old stuff? Are you trying to recreate something before you even get there that is still tied to human wants and needs? Like a relationship, like something that you might have wanted as a human, but because that person worked in that program with you and was working through that stuff with you, do you still see them as that, a potential? Someone I might want to have a relationship with, or that might not be why they're there. And 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be, because you're having relationships when you're in your higher consciousness realities and embodied in your higher aspects. They don't work the same way. You're actually, you feel like you're more like taking care of children. Everyone kind of becomes a child in a sense, and you're trying to guide them as much as it's appropriate to do that in their next phase of their journey. So you might see a lot of people pop back in. I think I've had 3 in the last month that it's been probably some will come back in quicker depending on, like I said, where they are. With some, it's been over 4 years that I haven't heard from them, haven't seen them, nothing. And then all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom. Also look at what, if those collective people represent something for you. What is your role? What is going on? We have to get deeper and deeper and deeper. And if we are trying to go into something and trying to recreate something that happened before, we're just going to recreate the whole mess again. We have to really look at what's in front of us. Who are they now? Because people will shift. People do move. Even if you feel like someone was moving slowly, you might be surprised how much they have moved, how much they have progressed. But we really have to really look at it and not get so bogged down on the old stuff with it, and not get so bogged down on who they were, or more important, what we want them to be. And I have a couple, so one person in particular, I always wanted them to be farther along than they were. I always wanted them to be in a different place, and they were never there. And I can look back and see that now, where the only reason the realities kept going as long as they did is I kept participating in it, because they just were not there. And will they get there? And when they do get to certain places, will I still be transmitting a frequency that they're going to be aligned with, or will they go to someone else to help them through? Will they be watching someone else or talking with someone else to help them through their ascension, their awakening, their ascension process? And I was just supposed to kind of spark that a little bit. We were working out some programming together, but it was never going to be anywhere else. Never going to be more than that. It was never going to be a relationship where they were never going to be where I wanted them to be when I wanted them to be there. You might see progress with people, and you might be floored by the progress you see. And you can get excited about that. It doesn't mean you're going to have a reality with these people, because you still might be so far apart in frequencies that, yeah, they've come a long way, but they're still not in a frequency, in a consciousness where we can have a reality. And that's kind of the toughest part for our human, because we wanted that, and we really have to be able to separate that out and be like, yeah, it would be nice. And sometimes you can see the timelines where you can create stuff and you can have beautiful realities with people, but that's not the one in front of you right now. That might be a timeline that comes in at some point. It might never come in. You can see it, but unless everyone can work through their human stuff, it's not going to happen. So even though we can see these timelines, and you can see these beautiful relationships and these beautiful realities where everyone's on the same page and everyone's co-creating from higher consciousness, and I'm really working toward, the shared realities and shared what everyone wants the same thing. It doesn't mean that's who you got in front of you right now. It just, we can't get too bogged down on that. So I think that's enough for today. So, okay. Be aware when people pop up, and don't look where you go the minute you hear from somebody. Look at where your thought process goes. That's going to tell you what is activating in you. And that might be the only reason they pop back up, for you to have to go back through something again and go, okay, look, I'm doing the same thing I did before. Let me clear that. Thanks for showing me that. I don't think we need to meet at all. That was enough. That was enough. That's all I need to do. It kind of reminds me of years ago when Facebook first kind of came online, and everyone was kind of looking up people they knew from high school or, college, I guess. And everyone was kind of reconnecting. And then when reunions came around, like college reunions or high school reunions, people weren't going anymore because, I already caught up with everyone I wanted to catch up on virtually, and there was no point to go anymore. And you might feel something similar, where someone might contact you, you might feel all the stuff that comes up with you, and then you might, chat with him for a minute, or you might not at all, and then you see there's no point. That was the whole point, was just to get that up. It was no point, there's no reason to meet. And you might find that when you try to meet, the times don't work. You can't make it work, because that was not the point of it. So really look at what's going on, and don't jump to conclusions on why they're there. And if you're not sure why they're there, sit with it. And don't get disappointed when they're not there for the reason our human wanted them to be there. Okay. Keep practicing the art of intuition.